Hey guys, welcome back to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sport. Of course, the T20 Cricket World Cup 2024, hosted by America and the West Indies, is to be bowled off or starts this Saturday, this weekend. The first, and we decided to come together and do a quick preview. We look at the group stages, and of course, highlight a few key players to look out for this tournament. I'm joined by Shamir and Kapil. Guys, welcome.
Good night, good night.
Good night, everybody.
All right. So first and foremost, T20 World Cup, guys, as West Indies fans, before we dive into it, are we optimistic or meh?
I'm optimistic because I'm a fan, so I support the team. So whether they're losing or they're winning, I will still have that fan optimism. But like as we progress into the analysis, we will see that we have some work to do if we want to win the tournament.
I wholeheartedly agree. As a fan, you'll always back your home team no matter what. Even more so as it being played in the Caribbean, and it's going to be so much excitement that you'll get wrapped up in it, swept up in it. So of course, our West Indies to win. We have done it before. There's a possibility to do it again, but like Apple said, the competition is stiff. So we'll see how it goes as the tournament progresses.
All right. Well, let's dive straight into the action. So, of course, Group A, we see Canada, India, Ireland, Pakistan, and the United States of America, right? One of the co-hosts. Shamir, if you want to start us off, what's your prediction? But actually, no, we'll just do it mixed, right? So, guys, what do you think about this group here? Group A, Canada, India, Ireland, Pakistan, and the United States. Who do you see coming out of this group? How do you see this group shaping up?
If I'm being honest, when you see a team like India and Pakistan, it's like pedigree in those teams. It's kind of like you can't beat it. So I'm not too sure how well USA, Canada, and Ireland will do against those teams, but I mean they have been instances where Ireland has caused upsets in the past, and I mean Canada and USA has been performing well in their own rights, so they could cause some upsets against a Pakistan team that's not in as much form as they would like to be. Right, I do not believe India will fall out of this group. They have too much firepower, especially after concluded IPL season. So I believe India and Pakistan will go through with some stiff competition amongst the next three teams. For see who plays two.
Yeah, Caps.
Yeah, well, in this group, I have an obvious imbalance of the teams. But if you consider the past that Ireland has caused some big upsets, especially in the last 50 over World Cup in the Caribbean, I think they beat Pakistan and made them knocked them out in the first round. So that will always be in the back of the mind of the Pakistanis. But it's a straightforward group, and again, based on the format of the tournament, they just need to qualify. Themselves and India just need to qualify because of the format of the tournament. First and second place probably don't even matter. And I think it's because of that they will play a safer route and try and beat the team that is supposed to beat. And the India Pakistan game will more be like a kind of prelude to the Super 8s where the pressure is on against the better team. So India and Pakistan should comfortably qualify from this group.
Yeah, I can see. I agree with you. I agree with you guys. Yeah, I think India, Pakistan, straightforward. So that's straightforward. All right, moving on.
Yeah, but I think when you mentioned you have to place first or second, I do think that Canada, Ireland, USA will be gunning for Pakistan more so than India. Just sneak in in that second spot under India, because if you beat the other two teams, the Pakistan game is the game to win for those teams. So you'll be gunning for that Pakistan team. So I expect to see a lot of, if I'm being honest, Pakistan picture is going to be very exciting compared to India. We expect to see like them teams probably roll over to the power of India's star lineup, but Pakistan is going to be highly contested, those fixtures.
For me, again, based on the history, Pakistan will probably be more confident against India than the smaller teams. They are kind of nervy team.
Yeah.
Against a bigger team, they will step up and they'll be more confident and more of the Pakistan flair. But you see the weaker teams, they always have a kind of like similar to West Indies, always a kind of tentative nature because they could falter against these teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this group, I mean, like all the groups, obviously, run rate is super important, but the minnows could try something. Ireland could say, all right, let me try to batter the United States, let me try to batter Canada. And you never know if they duke it out well with India and Pakistan. At least, as you said, hold on to Pakistan. That could be their
Yeah.
ticket out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Totally.
also have to consider, like 2 rain out games and the whole group turn upside down.
Yeah.
That's also true. If India
That is very
group
true.
get rain out, that's
Two rain
trouble.
out games
Trouble,
and then
trouble, trouble,
anybody can qualify.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's a good point. All right, so another nice group, tasty group here. So we have Australia, England, Namibia, Oman, and Scotland. Caps, you want to start us off on this one?
Yeah, again, kind of straightforward. We would think England and Australia is the favorites, but the two teams must be wary of Scotland. So I think that is the game where they need to go out and play the best cricket against Scotland because that is the team that could cause the upset in the group. So we're looking at Australia, England, and outside chance Scotland.
I mean, if I'm being honest, looking up, doing some research on the teams, right? These minnows, right? They have 1 or 2 or 3, 4 players in their teams that on their day could cause problems for big teams, right? And Namibia has players that has been performing in the T20 circuit. David Wisa, right, among some of them, right? And Scotland has always been a team that has players that play in the county cricket circuit as well, T20, Vitality Blast. So these are teams where you would not really think or expect them to be anything much, but they have players that who have experience as well as T20 experience, and that could pose a threat against England and Australia in this group. You have to be very wary of faltering.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These teams.
fully agree.
Yeah.
Fully agree. And Namibia, I think Namibia have some tricky players that could cause some issues.
Yeah, definitely. Oman as well, you know.
Yeah.
Honestly, you never know.
No. Okay, not yet. All right. So Group C, of course, the most important group with the most important team to us. Afghanistan, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Uganda, and of course, the glorious men in maroon, West Indies. Shamir, how do we see this one shaping out, and why is West Indies going to finish first?
Right. So apart from or different, I would say, to the other two groups is you don't see two clear-cut winners of these groups, right? In this group in particular, because yes, you see New Zealand, and New Zealand has been always a team that reaches its Super 8 or quarterfinals, etc. But West Indies is a team that honestly could beat anybody, but also honestly could lose to anybody, right? As history has shown. So, and Afghanistan is relatively new in the associate and we'll say again nations as a nation, full member nation. And while maybe new, they have some players who have been playing T20 cricket for years. Rashikhan, I think, if not the highest wicket taker in T20s thus far internationally. But apart from him, we have Mohammad Nabi. They have some openers who hit the ball very far. So Afghanistan and West Indies have equal chance of being in the top 2 with New Zealand, or even New Zealand can have a possibility of not making it out of the group if they play their cards wrong, if they underestimate Afghanistan and West Indies. They could be on the way out, on the way home. So I do think this is going to be a very nice group with a lot of good fixtures. But again, like you say, West Indies, we will support them, and they have the firepower to win this group.
Yeah, Caps.
I think it's a very tricky group. To be quite honest, I think West Indies or New Zealand could see the in this group. I just think Afghanistan have a very. I would not want to play against Afghanistan. I don't think they would win the World Cup. If there's any team, I would never want to play against Afghanistan in a T20 game.
Yeah.
Especially with a lot of the players who have experience in the CPL, so they know the conditions. And I would go as far as to say I think Afghanistan makes it out of this group. So so I really on the fence. Either three teams could qualify because New Zealand always turns up in tournaments, right? We know that they always turn up,
Of course.
especially in the group stage. They
Yes.
tend to cruise through the group stage.
Yes.
But the deciding game in this whole group will be the West Indies New Zealand game.
First game.
I think the way that game goes would kind of determine the group and the outcome. And it's very exciting cricket for the neutrals. For the West Indian fans, however, it will be a bit nervy in the Lara Stadium.
Yeah.
But I think they at a must win in that New Zealand game. They need to win that game because they don't want to go in to play Afghanistan in the last game needing to beat them. Needed it to be a knockout. So I really think that this group is the group that will stir up a lot of surprises, and we as West Indian fans we could get heartbreak in this group, but we could also see them blow away the two teams, and New Zealand could be the one crashing out because nobody expected we were all saying Afghanistan on paper, right? But like based on the form, the dangerous nature of the team, the balance of the team, I would be afraid to play Afghanistan. So if you ask me, West Indies and Afghanistan makes it out of the game.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I will say to that first game, the first game, of course, is West Indies versus New Zealand. That is a big game. Not just, as you say, it's a must win because whoever loses that game now, Uganda, Papua New Guinea, and especially Afghanistan will be licking their lips and say, right, if we could take advantage of them now in this downward spiral at the end now and put some licks on them, or at least have a close run rate or something. Right? So, best case scenario, that game ran out. That's another madness too for the other teams, right? For the other teams.
Yeah.
Now, this next group for me, I've labeled this group as a group of death. Popular term with football. I think this is a group of death here. Bangladesh, Nepal, Netherlands, South Africa, and Sri Lanka. Do you all agree with me? Is this a group of death, or you all say the West Indies, New Zealand one is a group of death?
This is a group but the mere fact that the 4 teams could qualify from this group.
Yeah.
But the eyes would be on the West Indies group clearly because they are the hosts.
They're the hosts, yeah. And
But this
go
one,
ahead, bro.
I think this Netherlands team, whilst they have been the giant killers of late in World Cups along with Ireland, they come into this World Cup with a weaker squad than usual. A lot of players either injured or sticking to county commitments. So they come into this tournament a bit weaker. I was excited to see actually a West Indian play for them. He has Netherlands heritage and a passport, that Daniel Durham from New Zealand. He was picked in the initial squad, but he was out injured. So I don't believe I don't think they'll be able at full strength in this tournament versus maybe previously. So I don't think they'll be one of the contenders of this group. So I believe that Bangladesh, South Africa, and Sri Lanka will be slugging it out to see who makes it up out of the top 2. If I'm being quite honest.
Okay. You agree there, Caps?
Yeah, but when I see Netherlands, I just see team. Like I just the word team comes to my mind where that we live under this fight for the jersey.
Yeah, and, valid.
Yeah, and when teams like that playing against a Sri Lanka team who's very inconsistent, very inexperienced at times, and a Bangladesh team who has never really settled into cricket as a T20 team.
Yeah.
They have a horrible record in T20s.
Yeah.
I think that they could pose an upset or two and maybe qualify with South Africa. I think South Africa will get through to the group, get out to the group. They're one of my pre-tournament favorites.
Yeah, but I cannot discredit or fighting back on your pre-tournament favorite as South Africa because they came into the tournament. They coming into this tournament on the back of a series loss against West Indies, right? Not a full-strength West Indies as well, I would like to say, and it doesn't bode well for a team to come into a tournament on a losing streak, as I mentioned. And I don't think they picked one of their best batsmen as well, Van der Dussen. I don't think they picked him, right? And he has been one of the top scorers in T20s for the last couple of years. And I don't see how, apart from their bowling, how their batting would hold up against an intense Super 8 bracket. But I mean, like I say, T20, anything can happen. Is 120 balls. You don't know what can happen. And I like the point you made in terms of when you see a team, you think the word team. And I think all those associate members play like that. Nepal, Netherlands, Papua New Guinea, Uganda, Ireland, everybody. They play as a team. They play because they haven't been on this platform, on the stage consistently. It's not, they don't take it for granted and they give it their all. So that's why I believe we could see some upsets because of the reason that the team spirit, the fight is gonna show that it's worth something in this tournament.
No, you put a lot of you put a lot of merit into that though. That previous result, we see a lot of teams do bad in friendlies. You see it in football, teams do
Yeah.
bad in some warm ups, some friendlies, and then show up all of a sudden. Is it
And I think
different?
West Indies was closer to the final 11 rather than South Africa. I think that was
Valid point. I mean, I don't want to put too much stock into the whole preseason, pre-match, pre-tournament fixtures, but I didn't like what I saw from South Africa in particular because their batsman wasn't getting in or stuck in terms like against a West Indies team that that was good. It's a good team, right? But they didn't get stuck in. Like a couple of persons did get stuck in and score some scores. But like I was looking to see Mossy Quinton play himself into some form or carry over his form from the IPL if he had any, right? He didn't really do that. So and he's one of their key batsmen in this one.
Quinton
He off. He will kick off. He scored.
Quinton does play better in the South African colours as opposed to franchise. He's just
valid. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's just
which is
play a
why
bit different in the jersey.
Which is why I expected him to kind of get stuck in. At least score some 30s, not too bad. And but that being said, I don't want to take it too much for merit in terms of the preseason, the pre-tournament fixtures. I just like the fact that as a fan, West Indies won a series before the tournament, and maybe they could use that as a platform to kick on to win the actual tournament.
Yeah. All right, we hope so.
Yeah.
All right, so of course that was the groups. Let us know in the comment section below your predictions for each